Hi, folks. Welcome back to the Leeds View podcast for this week's podcast. A little review looking back at, I suppose, the Manchester City, the Chelsea and the Liverpool game and what's been an incredible 7 days for Leeds United. Daniel Farke goes from dead man walking to Lazarus as we head into possibly some easier, touch wood, fixtures in the next couple of days. Joined by Jerry McNamee tonight. Paul Brooker is on swimming pool duty tonight, so no Paul tonight, but we'll catch up with Paul towards the end of the week. But Jerry, we never got a chance to talk to you last week after the Chelsea match, so I wanted to get your thoughts on what has been a mad week for Leeds United. 3 fixtures that we didn't think we'd get anything from except a thumping, and we've managed to come out of it with 4 points and 2.5 really, really good performances.
Yeah, well, there's no truth in the rumor that since me and Paul met in person that we refused to be on camera together. Still getting on. It's just I was playing football last week. Yeah, I know, no duffer like me, still playing football. I just stand at the back and point. What a week! Yeah, and you looked at 1 point you would have taken beforehand. I mean, and you know, from the second half against Man City, it's just been fantastic. 8 goals. 4 points. Jeez, it's way beyond what we expected, and the buzz is there. Yeah, I mean, I was saying definitely Daniel Farke stays. We've destroyed the tapes, I know, but that's what I was. No, we weren't. Of course, we weren't. I thought he was gone. I would have probably said he's gone after the Forest game, and you have to give him credit. I think he's having his coffee and cake on the sofa, and he's feeling a lot safer than Arne Slot and Mo Salah. But I mean, that spoiled the whole week for me. After all great results and seeing Mo Salah diss the Liverpool squad, now it's broke. It's destroyed everything. No, it hasn't. No, fantastic. Chelsea game. It was everything you wanted to be. The crowd were up for it. Early goal. Bijol. I had Bijol first an anytime goal score. I had the correct score. 180 quid. It was a great night. Chelsea, from a team that beat Barcelona 3-0 and 10 men, got a draw with Arsenal, were poor. They rotated the team, but their defence was pretty poor. But we were up for it, and I think the 3-5-2, which was retained, which we were all waiting to see, Witty, and it was fantastic the whole way through the team. You could not have a go at anybody, and the way the goals came. And the trouble, I suppose, the only thing we can be annoyed about with our home games is keeping conceding in the first 5 minutes after half-time. It's happened in the last 3 home games. That's something.
6 goals this season in the first 10 minutes of the second half.
That's down, but something that can be sorted. But yeah, Chelsea, the atmosphere of Chelsea game was up there, one of the best I had. Putting the Chelsea fans, they shut up very quickly. They were quite cocky cockneys, and they weren't. I went a good night with Paul, and we hugged and we held hands, and I think we got a dinner date, probably have. And into the Liverpool game Saturday, you were, obviously players were a bit battered. And Metchu was out with with a hamstring as well, which is
a bit of a hamstring tweak,
probably has a couple of weeks. And Tanaka was a bit battered. So unsurprising not to see him he was on the bench and Gruev come in. But I think as we were saying off air, and we were saying during the game, we started with the 3-5-2, but we were playing like we've been playing before, slow build up and passing and it just wasn't working. And I was at 22 minutes, I was saying, I'll take the draw now. And you thought, can we hold on? And you thought, we're not going to, but we got to half time. And Liverpool, even though they're in trouble, they did look dangerous. They looked better than Chelsea. They looked like a Premier League team, passing and movement. Players like Gatpo, and I mean Sloboslai. I saw him in Budapest last month against Ireland, and unfortunately for him, he did that at the Irish team, and he did that to the Leeds fans. And you look a bit silly now, Slobby, but he's a class player. This is why you want to be in the Premier League. As for Kanate, I was with a Liverpool fan who took to the game the whole way through, and she said he's just liability. And but it's a second half. We start 2 sloppy goals. Joe Rodon, he knows, and Joe Rodon doesn't make many mistakes, so at least everything happens. And Pascal, a loose pass, and Gabby got caught and in there, and good cross in. Although offside, one of the goals offside, which. The referee, who wasn't doing us any favours, to be honest. So we're 2-0 down. You think, oh well, that's the way we were. But then it all came back after that. I mean, Konate, what a stupid tackle.
I cannot figure out what he was trying to do, because Willie Gnonto was clearly running out of play with the ball. Like he's a half a yard off the end line when he decides to not kick him once, kick him twice, left leg and right leg. And then Anthony Taylor obviously didn't want to give the penalty, but he had to in the end. It was a stonewall penalty. Just a crazy
Why
decision.
did you have to go to the screen? I mean, the VAR guys must have thought, it's a penalty. But the fact that Willie was on there, the subs came and we saw Brendan and Willie and remember who else came on? I should know this.
Tanaka.
Of course, Tanaka. Sorry,
game changer.
And three. And I thought, Brendan, I'll tell you what, I probably said before maybe that he's better off coming on as a sub and being disruptive. And Willie got the penalty. Brendan provided the pass into Stack, who again, someone we were disappointed with a few weeks ago, looks to be coming back into the player we saw in Dublin in the pre-season. The penalty from Calvert-Lewin is all around decent game, and all of a sudden he's got 4 goals. The last time we saw him take a penalty was against Sheffield Wednesday, which was it's a bit in somebody's garden. And then to get back and then go down 3-2. I mean, you look at their bench, £500 million worth of players on the bench. And the ball came across McAllister, a nice little dummy, and good finish into all that hard work. And but the finish, the at the end, and
the step over before that Liverpool goal as well. You talk about £500 million on the bench, just class on the ball, but also class off the ball. To step over that ball, to know that the runner Szoboszlai was there into space to get their third goal was like you're watching it happen and you're going, don't step over it, don't and then he's in then. But as you say, we got back then. Yeah,
but have to mention Perry, 2 brilliant saves. He pulled that one that was going dive, and the one he plucked out of the corner going in. It was
the Van Dijk header.
I thought it was all the way in. And credit, and he was not no fault for any of the goals. I think he was left a bit exposed. I can't blame him for those. Maybe against Chelsea, but I don't know. But he's looking better. Maybe a bit. He looked agile, because I always thought he looks a bit stiff, but he looks okay, and I think he's playing his way into the team. But 9 minutes go up, and you thought we can get something from this. And another set piece. In many corners, we went 59 games once.
I think it's 9 this year. I could be wrong, but I think it's around 9 this year we scored from.
And the cheek of Van Dijk to say to the ref it was a handball. It was clearly one. It was
their player who handled it. It would have been a penalty had it not gone in.
It would have been a penalty. And Tanaka finished 2 goals. And I know his family and friends are all, I think they were over for both games.
School teachers there as well.
Yeah, just let's think 2.5-3 million, second division Bundesliga. And could he step up? He stepped up. And you thought we could go on and win this. It was good. And Liverpool devastated. Mo Salah throwing his toys out of the pram. It was brilliant. And the thing that annoyed me, I thought, first on match of the day, second in a row. And it was all about how Liverpool were poor. Didn't mention us at all, how good we've been, and changed it around. And I say, Fark, I thought he'd be gone. We talked about this last week. He had these 2 games. If he's going to lose, he was out. He's not going anywhere. And
nowhere.
Why change? Why would you? And that just shows you sliding doors moment. If you pull the trigger, sometimes it works. And I absolutely delighted for him. We can criticize where criticism is due, and a lot of it has been this year. But he's listened. He's listened, and he's changed. And as you said to me off air, he played 3 formations in that game.
He did, yeah.
And my favourite bit of the game was Barnow, who now really does exist, came on. He is a big unit. I'll tell you what, I've never seen shoulders on anybody except the man with the biggest ever shoulders. And he is a big bloke. So I'm hoping he comes in. Don't like the Alice band. Lose that, man. But all good. Pirro got a game as well. Pirro had a few touches. And, we all of a sudden we're looking at the next games. They aren't, we shouldn't say aren't as difficult. They're all difficult, but with their confidence in the way we're playing, everybody's talking about Leeds at the moment, in the sense that the crowd, the atmosphere, it's the authenticity of it all. It's proper ground, proper atmosphere,
proper football
fans.
Because you were talking about Man City. We were joking not last week, because we missed last week, but we were joking about but Chelsea being plastic, Man City being plastic, and the lack of an atmosphere in the Etihad, the Etihad. And then you see even Chelsea Fan TV came out after the Chelsea game and said best atmosphere. And he's been there 3 times and Preston 3 times best. Not that we care what Chelsea people think, but you know what I mean? It's interesting to see fans that are used to going to all the bowls and all the pretty stadiums in the Premier League coming to one of the more traditional kind of grounds and talking about how loud and how aggressive that atmosphere is. And you just hope, we saw a little clip last week of how far back the West Stand is going to go. And with spray paint that's marked out, you just hope it can retain that tightness to the pitch and that aggressive atmosphere.
No, it's definitely even in the West Stand, people were standing up and singing. That doesn't always happen. Bit reserved.
Not always, no.
But it with the rain and the lights, it just adds something to it. It was a horrible day and night, but really adds something to it. And you can see the passions there. Everybody's behind it, and we're back on the point again. And you know, if you looked at, if someone had said to you the old cliche in August, this is where we'd be on the first week in December, you would say, yes, we'll take that. And all of a sudden, other teams are getting drawn in, where it looked a couple of weeks ago, it was 4, maybe we were in the bottom 3. And, you say, Forest, we're over. West Ham got a couple of draws. Fulham have not quite been able to pull away. And you look at Brentford, Bournemouth look good, but still, they look. If I was in 20 points, I'd be looking over my shoulder. So it's a really strange division this year. When you see Everton in 5th, and they got tonked 4-0 last week, it's there's nobody, and maybe Arsenal might throw this away, which I hope. Yeah, but you look at Aston Villa.
It's getting close to Christmas, isn't it? It's around that time of the year, isn't it?
Oh, I hope they do. I really don't want Declan to do well. Man City, that guy Cherky the other day, he is good.
He's a quality player.
He is qualities. So right through that division, whereas we're on current form, we're as good as anybody away from home in London, as Neil Warnock would say. It's London, isn't it? Yeah, it's we have to break this hoodoo somewhere. Is it 8 wins and 33 or something? I think the last time we won was probably at Brentford when we stayed up. I think I could be wrong, but I'm
definitely in the Premier League. Yeah,
in the Premier League, probably maybe not in London. Well, QPR always beat us, and
they did.
I don't see any. I can't remember. Millwall. Sorry, we won at Millwall, didn't we? That 3-0. That's probably the last.
Always
time.
Nice.
In the Premier League, that was a great game. So
2 London sides coming up, Gerry. So it's, the one trip, one at home. Palace at home won't be easy either. They're 4th in the table right now. But it's all look an awful lot more positive than it did 7 days ago. We're out of I don't think anyone thought for a second coming into these 3 games in the relegation zone that Leeds would be 2 points clear. And looking up a little bit. Now, I want to be very clear on this. We might only be 7 points off 10th, but no one is talking about 10th, Daniel, and no one is talking about Europe, Daniel. So just in case it comes up at a press conference. But it is worth talking about, Gerry, because as it has been said, and I think we've been pretty fair over the last couple of months. We've praised when there was praise due. We've criticized when the criticism was due. Yes, we said it was time for a change, but what we said that time was, if he doesn't change the approach, if he doesn't change the style, if he doesn't change the system, then you change the manager, because something needed to change. Actually, one of the headlines, the title of one of the podcasts a few weeks ago was "Something Has to Change." Yes. And in this week, we have seen a change of a base system, which he said he wouldn't do, and it wasn't the problem. But he's changed it twice now. And we've seen tactical flexibility from in a space of a week. I was on BBC Leeds 2 weeks ago, and I said, the problem I have is it's too predictable what Leeds are going to do. We know the team. We know the system, we know the style, and we know when the subs are going to come as well and who they're likely to be as well. It's too easy to predict what Leeds are going to do. And in the space of 7 days, we've gotten a tactical shift, a attitudinal shift as well, in terms of being far more aggressive, except I thought we were a little bit standoffish in the first half against Liverpool, but we still held them to nothing, which is good. And then the second half, that aggression kicks back in. We wanted them to be tactically flexible and unpredictable. And in the space of 3 games, we've gotten all of that. So the change has come from the manager, which, again, as I said at the start of this, he's gone from dead man walking to Lazarus. And all of a sudden, you're looking at Brentford Palace. The fear is in the back of everyone's head of, will he revert to type now and go back to the 4-4-2? He briefly, or 4-3-3. He went back to it, more of a 4-2-3-1 in the second half against Liverpool briefly, and then changed to a 3-4-3. But it all seemed to work. And again, I think it's not a case of playing 4-3-3 or 3-5-2. I think the 3-5-2 makes us harder to beat. I think the first half proved that against Liverpool as well. If nothing else, it's tougher to score against us outside of switching off for 10 minutes or 5 minutes in the second half. But just even then changing to the 4-3-3 in the second half, it just changes the approach, and it means the other manager now has to react to that and actually figure out how he's going to play against you. And it gets Leeds back in the game. But like 8 goals as well against those 3 sides, which considering we had a problem scoring goals, and now all of a sudden we played probably 3 of the best sides in the country and scored 8 goals against them. And it's, you're now looking at Brentford away, Palace at home, and Sunderland away, and thinking, if we can carry this form into those games, we could give ourselves a real shot in the arm here. We've already gone past Southampton's total for last season. We've already beaten Ipswich's wins for last season. And now we're in a position, or vice versa. We corrected on that. But it tells you that we're in a better position already. And again, you're looking up going, you beat Brentford, you're only a point behind them.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's there. And I think one of the things I said to someone the other night at the game is the substitutions made sense the other night. It wasn't just chuck everybody on in 70th minute and hope for the best. It made sense. Although I didn't necessarily agree at the end, but as you said, changing doesn't mean you can change from 3-5-2 to 4-3-3 or whatever. Whatever's required at that particular time. And bringing someone like Brendan, a disruptor, on helps. Willie looked really up for it. He's played his way back in again. We got more up. Okafor was a bit disappointing. I thought he needs to be a bit more. He had a shot early on. He disappeared a bit. He needs to be.
Yeah.
He needs to restore some of that stuff he showed against Wolves early in the season and running at teams. We got that. But yeah, it makes sense. All of it makes sense at the moment, and it's sort of working. Yeah, there'll be games where it won't work, but at least we can see that he's not trotting out the same stuff, and what you say is change was needed, and wherever that change came from, it comes. So we can look between now and Christmas sort of positive. We're not cut adrift. If we get 2 out of 4 wins or 1 out of 4 wins and 2 draws, whatever, just keep the clock ticking over, making sure, because other teams behind us aren't going to win lots of games, and the teams in the middle, they're hit and miss and can easily hit a bad run of form. And we don't fear anybody at the moment, and we've got a chance of staying up. That's all we ever wanted. And as you said, we might joke about it. We're not title contenders. Maybe, I don't know. We're not title contenders. We're not getting into Europe. We're not looking at that. And, might win the cup. You never know. We'll see.
That's an interesting one as well. We've with the cup draw tonight as well. Leeds will be away to Derby County in the next round of the FA Cup. So lots of history between those two sides way back when, but also Spygate as well as Leeds Guard of Honour on promotion season under Bielsa as well. The Pablo goal there. A lot of history, a lot of connections between those two clubs. They're doing pretty well in the championship this season. Well, but it's like the last season again for me, Jerry. You're looking at it going, you'd like an FA Cup run, but also I'd much rather stay in the Premier League than risk getting players injured in FA Cup games.
I think that'll probably be reflected in the team that plays. I was disappointed. I was always hoped for a new ground, and I wanted to go to Weston-super-Mare or Macclesfield or someone lower down I'd not been to. And I mean, the draw itself is really dull. There's a lot of Premier League teams will come out. And we were saying this blokey, laddish making draws. Just go back to Bert Millichip and Alan Hardacre and to Lancaster Gate and just draw the balls out, and none of the Crouchy, they'll not like you for that, for drawing them away from home. It just makes me fed up. It's them destroying the FA Cup. So Derby away is disappointing. It's like back in the championship, but it's a game we could lose if we put a second string out, which we probably won't put a full squad out. I'd like a cup run. I think the last time we played Derby in the third round, if I'm right, we were 2-0 down and we won 4-2. I seem to remember
that was way back. Robert Molnar was playing that game. I think Hasselbank might have been even in that game. I think he might have scored. Gunnar Halle, I think, scored in that game as well.
It was that sort of George Graham era, that was it. So I don't think we've ever
watched that game actually.
We played Derby in the 5th round of the Cup in 1977 and beat them 1-0. I think that was Wolves. I'm sure we beat them. We've beaten them in the Cup at some stage. It might have been the year 77. It's my anorak. Stats Dalton will tell us, but I know we beat them 1-0. So yeah, there'll be a great buzz, and it suits me actually because I'm supposed to be going to a party in Leicester that night. It's only down the road, so in that respect, I'm okay with it. Yeah, but I feel sorry for
as well.
Yeah, Weston. Was it Boreham Wood or
Boreham Wood? Yeah.
or Brackley or Burton are playing now, or
I
way to
wanted Wrexham.
Bournemouth.
I wanted a Brynlaw
Yes,
derby where Bryn could
I
commentate
wanted
on for
Wrexham.
both teams on the game. That's what I
would have
wanted to
loved.
see.
I would have loved away to Wrexham. It's not far down the road, and Forest got them away,
Yeah.
so that's a shame. That would have been a good one. Liverpool got burned. Man United at home. They'll be live for the umpteenth year in a row. It's just that's what's boring about it. I was hoping for
A lot
West
of Premier League teams will wipe each other out, though, Gerry. There's a huge amount of Premier League fixtures in this one as well, which means at least that herd gets thinned a little bit for the next one if we do get through.
And if we did get a bit safer, I mean, why not the cup run? Although what spoils the FA Cup is a semi-final at Wembley. That's what really spoils it. I thought when I was a kid, first 3 years I supported Leeds, 4 years we were in the cup final 3 times. I thought this happened every season. Leeds haven't been in the cup final since I was 9, and I'm very old. Sunderland, that's the last time we were in FA Cup final. And it's we're due, but we're terrible in the cup. We are the last time
Wembley as well. If you do get there, and the record's not great there either.
The last time we got to the 6th round, I think Sheffield United beat us, and it was under Venables. And we've hardly gone past I think twice in the 6th round since Coventry beat us in the semi-finals. We're just dreadful, and unlucky as well. Yeah, but Alan Clark 1-0. Take some of that.
That's all we need. Yeah, another run like that would be fantastic. But we've got to.
Having said that, I saw Paul Reilly. How was he? He looks like he's still playing. He looks exactly the same. And Lucas Radaby as well. And I not name dropping. I said, Lucas, we'll see you in Mexico, because South Africa are in Ireland's group. Well, not quite our group yet, but
if we get there.
Yeah, if we get there, Mexico and the Azteca, wow. There'll be Irish players melting. Because we'll burn up in the sun, won't we? Pale features. It'll not. Steve Staunton baseball hat tributes will be out there.
The napkin with the corners folded, corners and the knots. That'll do them. They'll be all right with that. A few bags of water.
We played Mexico in USA in '94, and I think Ireland. That was when John Aldridge imploded.
John lost the plot. Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Sorry, I'm going off the point there, but where are we talking? With the FA Cup. Yeah. So we need to get back on a good run. We do, and you always want to win games, but if we don't, the Premier League is staying in, that's everything. Staying up, strengthening the team, and pushing on to be pushing on up the middle and up to Europe and places like that. That's where the ambition is.
Well, that's what they say. Yeah, it depends on what you read. One article says the next 3 years is finished 16th this season, 15th next year, 15th the year after. I'd hope they're slightly more ambitious over the next 2 seasons to push up the table a little bit more than that, and again, not leave themselves so close to the relegation zone where it could possibly go wrong. But it's going to be interesting. Transfer window opens in 24 days, I believe it is, or in and around that. Interesting stuff that came out today. Leeds apparently went after a Como midfielder. I'll get his name right here. Martin Batterina. From Como. He's a young midfielder, not playing a huge amount of football, but apparently, according to Fabrizio Romano, Leeds have made an offer for 21 million and it was rejected straight out of hand. They said absolutely not. They only bought him in the summer. And there's a guy called Rooney Bartke who plays for Barcelona, a Swedish winger, right-sided winger, inverted. So exactly what we're missing and we're looking for in the summer. And they're apparently open to let him go on loan. He's got a background with Copenhagen as well and has played some Champions League football. He's got a goal and an assist this year. So Leeds, if they're to be believed, and they're from relatively credible enough sources, it means Leeds are maybe starting to move to try and get things lined up nice and early this year. And if they are going to do anything, Gerry, you want to get it done the first week, don't you?
When they've never done anything early. But January, I don't remember a good January window.
Connor Roberts is the only player they've signed in the last 2 January transfer windows. And that was the last day of the window 2 years ago. And he barely played.
Yeah, he was decent when he did. But
I liked him.
Yeah. I always remember we signed Torre Andre Flo and Sa. We signed a load of players that year, but we don't. We just, I think there's about some wheeling and dealing. Will some players move on? Will Melia move on, or is he going to sit it out for his contract to the end of the year? You got to get some monies in. You don't like seeing players leave, but whether we have any or whether we can spare anybody, but probably in Europe, you're going to pay a premium for any Premier League players. And do you take a chance on a Championship player?
A few loans, maybe. Few loans, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe that young lad that's tearing it up at Sheffield United, Patrice Bamfordio. I hear he's really good.
2 and 2.
He's got 3 goals. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think talking about the championship, as football fans, one thing we should remember, at Charlton the other day, there was a guy who sadly died at the game, and his name was Headphones Norman. And I've read a lot of stuff about him, and he was a proper fan. He went to every game. He was fan of the year. People knew him, and he died at the place he loved. And it just hit a string with me. That hit a chord, and I thought, wow, he's the, you watch the draw, the World Cup debacle of a draw.
Oh God, made of peace prizes.
Inducing just everything that's wrong with football in the world these days. And you just think proper fans, proper Western Supermare fans. Headphones Norm, who died at the place he loved, and I think that's what it's about, and the atmosphere at Leeds and all that. That's why you do it. That's why you love it. So yeah. So I remember Headphones Norm. Yeah, that's the sort of people you want to.
I'm sure if he was asked any time over his life, where would you want to go, he would have said at the ground. And there you go. So
and the abandoned game from and everything, and I think that's not a bad way to go.
No, it's all right, isn't it? Yeah. Between that and in your sleep, I'll take one of the two. Yeah. Ellen Roder in my sleep. Yeah. There's not a huge amount else, Gerry, to talk about. I mean, the one thing I wanted to ask you about before we wrap it up is you said the word a couple of times about Brendan Aronson being a disruptor coming on the park. But I want to talk about Leeds' disruptors, because you look at the shift in approach. Again, we tried to play a bit of football in the first half against Liverpool, which didn't really work again. But when we went back to the more aggressive front press, and the front press seems to be something that's worked really well in the 2.5 games, or second half against Liverpool more so, second half against City in the 90 minutes against Chelsea. That has to be something that Daniel Farke pushes with this side, because when they are on the front foot, they just seem to be far better and more comfortable and look like they're going to score, versus this kind of play it out from the back and pass it around a bit. They just look a bit passive, and nobody seemed to want the ball in the first half against Liverpool. But then all of a sudden, the second half, it's like rock and roll football, and there's balls flying around everywhere, and there's bodies everywhere, and there's shots. That second half was nuts. But that's what we've got to be looking to do, is come into this league and go, we're not going to play the football that you want to play in the Premier League. We're going to disrupt this a little bit, and we're going to play football that upsets you a little bit and maybe plays to our strengths.
Yeah, play to your strengths. A great man who we both knew very well, Jack Charlton, when he came into the Ireland squad, we used to play that sort of football and did okay, but never got anywhere. And he said, we're not good enough. We're not up to the standard. So he was way ahead of his time. We put him under pressure. And that was his, maybe it was a bit more industrial than what you get today, but the ball coming over the top. And if you're a defender, if you ever played defense and the ball's coming and there's somebody running at you or heading the ball down, it is disruptive, and that does, and it gets the crowd going. And if you got someone there winning the second balls and all this, it's not pretty, not technical, but it is in a way as well, because it's a way of winning games. And if that's why we became big bugger 11 or big bugger Leeds United when we signed these players, they actually seem to be fitting into place now. And that's what you want to do. You got someone like Stack who's a big lad who can run but can win the ball as well. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's been superb as and Demetria when he was fit. Both
4 goals each.
And it's old fashioned, but if that's our strength, and we're not going to compete with Man City. We saw that in the first half last week. Second half, they were on the back foot, really were, and momentum is everything. I mean, if you get a goal and you're pushing on, you got the crowd behind you, and that style of football. So more of that, and the passing at the back does my head in. I know you to beat the press and all that. I've learned all this stuff from tacticians. And
why pass it?
I don't know. Yeah, just go round it, but just go over the top. Yeah, it's easy. So yeah, we as I said, we seem to be making the subs that make sense, playing the players that in places that make sense, and they're doing things that make sense. And we've had a good week. Let's just hope it continues. Fingers crossed, because we know which way this can go. But I think anything up to 5th, them teams, they've all been up and they're all dropping down. So why not us go up there and move up a few places? We just want enough bodies in between us and the bottom 3. Burnley are losing a lot. And Wolves
are gone.
Probably cut a drift. Yeah, I'm just looking at 0-0 after 10 minutes against Man U. Party thinks you don't want them to win and get a bit of momentum. But yeah, they're well gone.
You would need, they're 13 points behind us. You would need a 26-point swing to get ahead of us. Like for us to drop 13 and then to pick up 13 points. You just can't see that happening.
I can. I'm a Leeds fan. I can obviously stuff.
Well, it's that. Dan McCarthy quote of "Can't keep going, can't continue like this." Can it, Mick? I can, Yeah.
So we just need to make sure that I'm not sure Forest are. I think they're good enough to be out there, but then again, they've not been picking up the points. West Ham
Yeah.
got to
No
get a
wins in
good
4
run,
for
a
West
couple
Ham.
of good draws. Yeah, thankfully Georgie popped. Was it Georgie popped up yesterday?
It was George, yeah. Handball as well, but we'll take that.
Yeah, do that. So, yeah, we're rather than thinking we're 3 points adrift and we're struggling, we're ahead of the game. We're level on the points per game, and on to the next one, and see how we can get to Christmas. Sunderland will have lost all their players to the AFCON. I think Sunderland are safe enough, but we played them in a couple of weeks, and you say Luke O'Nien got.
He's out.
Was it a straight red he got?
Straight red. He's out for the next 3. So their third game is against us. So he's missed it for that. And all of their AFCON players have to be gone by next week. So they'll all be gone as well. I think they're missing 9 players. So they're missing 10. And they've only had 1 win in their last 5 games as well. So they're on a bit of a wobble. So it could be a great time to get them.
Yeah, I'm going to Anfield for Mo Salah's return. Yeah.
Or Anna Slott's firing one or the other.
Oh yeah. For when I don't know who steps up, Big Sam comes in and takes the Liverpool job at the end of the season. I don't know.
Yeah.
And of course we got Manchester United. So look, you can't look too far ahead. But that's our league games before we go into the cup, and 4 or 5 games there, and you think, a couple of wins there and a draw, 2. Take that. They'll probably be a defeat, but that's what we got to do. So I'm feeling upbeat, and
good.
A great week. 4 points. 3 games, and I met Paul. That's, what more does a person want? And we met Barry. Barry, our 95.
I heard about Barry. Yeah, we heard about Barry.
He's nearly 95. Barry. He's seen Don Bradman bat, and his first game for Leeds was 1947, and he's an absolute gentleman, and he's as sharp as a pin. And Barry's our man.
Week. Yeah, Murray Mintz, I believe, or what would be. Murray Mintz were being handed out before the game.
Yeah, he owns a sweet shop, which is a good person to know. Yeah, Murray Mintz and toffees. He's a great man.
Keep you going. Yeah, get through 45 minutes, no problem with them. Yeah,
it's not all about football. It's not all about football,
No, it's about the people you meet as well. It's the experience on the day. I worked in retail for the bulk of my life, and I used to say retail shouldn't be about sales. It's always about the experience. Experience brings people back, and same with football. It should be about the experience on a match. That's why when I do get to go over to the games, you get to soak up the city, you get to soak up the ground, get to soak up the atmosphere, get to look around and just feel part of it, and go over to the Peacock and have a few points. I usually be at the Yard No Better lads when I'm over there to have a few points as well. So it's the experience and the chance to meet people as well. So it's great.
Football is great. I haven't said that all the games are going next Sunday. I'm not going to Brentford, and I'll be doing. If anybody remembers the Likely lads, I don't know, probably don't, but I'll be avoiding the score. I'll be avoiding the score. I'll probably phone switched off, radio switched off, everything. Don't anybody know? Don't contact me. I'll be watching the game. Whereas I know somebody yesterday who was avoiding the Formula One and switched on the TV, and Lando Norris was all over Sky. I don't follow it, but I could hear him going, no. So I'll try and avoid the Brentford score. Everything will be switched off, and I'll be watching in different times. So it'll be an experience. I might nip away early.
I look forward to your reaction when you do finally get a chance to watch it. Yeah, we'll see how we get on. Yeah, it'll look. It's a game that you want to see the performances and the attitude that's been in there in the last 2.5 carried into that game to see if we can make a real impact. And then you've got Crystal Palace at home. Ellen Note is a massive factor in that as well, and it's been brilliant for us so far this season. But again, you said momentum. We're coming out of the last 2 games with 4 points, heading into a game against Brentford that I don't think anyone thought we would be. Maybe 2 points if we were lucky, but we're in a much more positive position. It's going to be easy to get players come January if we keep going on this trajectory as well. So long may it continue, but again, form is temporary. Let's hopefully see it continue against Brentford on Sunday, then Palace on Saturday. No crazy Christmas fixtures this year because they've ruined Christmas for everybody because of TV. Yeah. So we get Palace the following Saturday, who have loads of games coming up around that time, and we're whinging about it. It's terrible being successful, but there you go. And then we'll see where we are. But we'll get through these block of 5 games. We'll see where we are, and we'll look ahead to the next set of games in the pod in a week or 2. Yeah. Gerry, thanks for joining me tonight. Anything you want to leave us with before you wrap up?
No, I was just going to say, if Palace get a free kick on the touchline with a minute to half time, I'll have a flashback, because the last time Palace played Leeds, if you remember, we were 1-0 up, and they got a free kick, banged in 1-1, and we lost 5-1, and something went badly wrong that day. That was, we were in 32 points when we were in the lead, and we never got to 32 points after that. Scary. Let's hope we don't go back to there. And
there was, as we all thought something happened at halftime. There was lots of reports of, arguments in the dressing room with Weston McKennie and other people. And I was at a Q&A last year before the Leeds Legends game, and Stuart Dallas was there. And the question came up while he was sitting there, what happened at halftime in the Palace game? And he out loud just turned around there and went, get your phones out, tweet this. You just need to tweet this. I'm tired of this. Nothing happened at halftime, but something should have happened. He said that was what went wrong. There wasn't a reaction at halftime. And he said, I think if we had a fight in the dressing room at halftime, that might have kicked us on a gear, he said, but nothing happened, unfortunately. He said, we just collapsed. That was it. Yeah. So, he was, he's tired of getting asked that question. So he wanted to put the record put straight on that. Nothing happened at halftime.
Let's hope we're better. Let's hope we're better.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Right, folks, to wrap it up there, massive thanks as always for supporting the channel. If you want to like the video, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on the audios, if you can give us a review and a star rating, that would be massively appreciated as well. And you can check out all the links for the affiliate stuff down below for the new merch on the channel. Outside that, back on Tuesday morning for the news. Mondays is available as well, and I will talk to you soon. See you later.